Eglin Air Force Base. Do you have orders here? Will you be living or working on base, or will you be a contractor with some projects that you're dealing with in Eglin Air Force Base? Well, if that is you, this video is just for you. I'm going to discuss the local areas and where you could live if you don't plan on living on base. And if you do plan on living on base, I'm going to share a base map and all kinds of information on how to make the most of your stay here in the Emerald Coast of Florida. Stay tuned. I personally live in Niceville. I live right around this area over here, and it's about a 15-minute drive to the closest gate that my husband drives to Eglin Air Force Base every morning. So 15 minutes from certain areas of Niceville. There's another area of Niceville over here called Blue Water Bay, and this is a really neat coastal community. There's a marina where you can dock your boat. There is a place called LJ Schooners, which is a coastal restaurant that a lot of people love. There's all kinds of pools and amenities and a golf course. There's a lot going on at Blue Water Bay. So this is where a lot of people come. They want to have a home that has lots of amenities, and there's walking paths everywhere. There's a lot of different features where if you had a bike and you wanted to ride it, you could ride it through the community, and there's just a ton of different options over here at Blue Water Bay. I live in Niceville, again, 15-minute drive over this part of Niceville to my husband's gate at Eglin. Then there's Valparaiso. So Niceville is a small town. Let me get back to Niceville. Niceville is a small town with waterfront homes available. There are more single-family homes than there are apartments that you can own. There are options. There are some Airbnbs. You'll find more Airbnbs over in Valparaiso if you need temporary living. Blue Water Bay has a lot of really neat homes when it comes to architecture. There's not a lot of new construction between Niceville and Blue Water Bay because there's just not a lot of land here. Now, there's a lot of new construction over in Freeport. From Freeport to Eglin, it's roughly 45 minute drive, depending on what area you're from. But there's a really neat community over there called Hammock Bay. And Devil's Head is another community over in Freeport. There's a lot of new construction in Freeport. Lots of land over in Freeport. Choctaw Beach is kind of a suburb between Freeport and Niceville, and that's located right in this area here. So those are some options for you. Valparaiso, and I'll get into pricing as well if you're considering buying a home. So Valparaiso, Shalimar, Wright, Florida, Fort Walton Beach, and Niceville are the main go-tos for my buyers who look to be stationed at Eglin. So sometimes they buy a home because they want to turn it into an investment property when they end up ultimately PCSing out, and that's worked out really good for my clients. Or they have decided that, hey, we're probably going to be here for years and we're going to try to stay here. So we want to be centrally located. So some other options for you are Okaloosa Island and Destin and Santa Rosa Beach. So these right here are going to be a little bit on the higher side when it comes to pricing if you're looking to rent or own, because they're right along coastal communities. There's a nightlight out here. There's the beach. There's all kinds of state parks. There's a lot of things to do, constant events and amazing restaurants all along the coast. I like that I have the best of both worlds because I live right in Niceville. I hop this bridge 15 minutes and I'm in Destin, or 20 minutes, I'm in Santa Rosa Beach. I can go to the nearest beach in about 15 minutes from my house, and I could pop on over this way, check out Shalimar, get some great dinner and get my nails done or a massage over in Fort Walton Beach, and then hop on over to Okaloosa Island to watch the sunset. So you can live in any of these areas and really have a great experience with getting to Eglin Air Force Base and moving around and enjoying yourself. So if you don't mind a little bit of a drive, about 45 minutes plus away from Eglin Air Force Base are certain areas of Navarre and Gulf Breeze, Florida. So they're over in this direction. There's some houses that are a coastal community right along the beach. There's apartments, there's condos, a lot of different options in Navarre and Gulf Breeze. So pricing, if you're talking about pricing, the lower priced homes can be found in Crestview, because there's a little bit more land. You get a little bit bigger house for a little bit less money in Crestview. Freeport, because there's a lot of new construction. They're offering a lot of promotions between Freeport and Crestview and Navarre. So comparably priced are Crestview, Navarre, and Freeport because there's a little bit more land to develop. and new homes are going in, and some of the older homes, there's more listings available, so the prices are competing with the homes are competing with each other with regards to price. So those numbers are a little bit lower due to a bit of saturation in the market right now, to be honest with you. Niceville, it tends to be homes tend to, 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom homes tend to be in the 400,000 plus range. Same thing with Valparaiso. Same thing with Shalimar. Fort Walton Beach, you can get a 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom for around 350,000. You could go cheaper if you wanted a more simple property. Um, Okaloosa Island, Destin, you're really looking in the $500,000 range for a 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom. Same thing with Santa Rosa Beach. We can find you homes in just about any price range, depending on what amount of bedrooms and bathrooms. We don't see a lot of ready to go turnkey homes for less than $200,000 here. You can sometimes find a condo for around that price, but the HOA fees can be high. So if you're looking for bang for your buck, if you're considering buying, if you're looking for a big yard, a bigger house, maybe even a pool, and a big, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms plus, for around 300,000 or maybe less, Crestview or Freeport are your greatest options. You can also find that in Navarre. If you're okay with 400,000 plus for 3 to 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms plus, you can find that in Niceville, Valparaiso, Shalimar. These places are really conveniently located to Eglin. You run into some traffic off of 85 when you go to Crestview, and that's a lot of the reason why people tend to like the south part of Crestview as opposed to the north part of Crestview. There's a lot of options in the north part of Crestview just because there's a lot of listings up and available. But the south part of Crestview, you don't have to deal with traffic from the interstate, and you can just kind of move a little bit more fluidly. But Navarre too. Navarre has access to Eglin through Highway 98, and then you take this road over here to get to Eglin Air Force Base. And Highway 98 also gives you access to Hurlburt Field Air Force Base. So that's over here. And so these roads, this Highway 98 can get pretty congested. And also you can run into some congestion during summertime and holidays where people are around visiting and enjoying their condo life. So, Highway 98 will get congested and have some traffic, but really this area is so beautiful. So many people get over the traffic and it's no big deal for them. So just a quick recap. A lot of people who are living in Eglin Air Force Base, they like Fort Walton Beach, my buyers, they like Fort Walton Beach, Wright, Florida, Shalimar, Valparaiso, Niceville, and Blue Water Bay, as well as Freeport, if they don't mind a drive. So Freeport, if they don't mind a little bit of a drive, 45 minutes plus to work. Crestview, if they don't mind a drive of 45 minutes plus to work. And I don't have a ton of people who work in Eglin who live in Destin, but it's totally an option for you. There's condos, there's homes, there's apartments. There's a lot of different options for you. Now, if you're not looking to buy and you're just looking to rent, I mean, a lot of our rental prices are comparable to these areas. So if it were me, I like to be close to work. So I'd probably pick one of these. I probably wouldn't drive from Crestview, but my husband did it for years before we were together. So he didn't love the drive, but if you're going to be just renting and it's not a permanent place where you're going to be here for a short amount of time, there's nothing wrong with being a little closer to base. These places are fairly comparable when it comes to rent. And I think the same rule applies when you're looking to buy as opposed to rent. Is that Crestview, you're going to find some houses that are a little bigger with a little bit of a larger yard. Same thing with Freeport, and the prices might be a little bit lower. You can find deals if you have time and you take your time. If you're ever interested in, let's check out some of my other slides. So if you're ever interested in looking into rentals, I can refer a great rental management company. If you're interested in buying or selling a home here in the Emerald Coast of Florida, I'm happy to help you. But these are actual photos from the area. And so what paradise do we live in? So this is over in the South Walton area. And this is over, I believe this is Okaloosa Island, over near Fort Walton Beach. But just absolute paradise over here. I think you're going to love it here. This is my husband's favorite duty station. He traveled around in PCS here and there, and he fell in love with it, and we decided to make it our permanent home. Some more photos. There's a great life outside of the four walls that you decide to live in here. So I think it's just a terrific place to live. Here are a couple of our communities. There's Crestview, there's Freeport sign. This is Hammock Bay sign that's over in Freeport as well. Rocky Bayou Estates is located here in Niceville. Deer Moss Creek is a newer community located here in Niceville. And here's that sign for Blue Water Bay here in Niceville as well. We'll get past that little video about PCSing. If you are have a military background and you are an active duty military member and you're looking to use your BAH or BHA rather, this is a little graph that kind of helps show you, or a graphic that helps show you what you can do with it. Like, you can absolutely become a homeowner by using your BHA to basic housing allowance to purchase a home. So you can save it up. Right now, for E5 with dependents, we're looking at $2,289. 22,000 would be a dream. $2,289 a month. And saving that for 12 months would be $27,468. Saving that for 3 years would be $82,404. And that's like 1/3 of a mortgage for $250,000 or $247,000. So you see how this adds up. If you're paying this into a landlord, it doesn't really go anywhere but into their pockets. But if you put it toward buying a home, you have real equity and you continue to rent it. And some people even actually rent their homes for more than they're paying on their mortgage total, and they actually walk away with a little money in their pocket each month. Or the tenant pays off their house and they have a property that they one day own from the tenants paying for it. So that's a fun thing. So here's some information about places to go, dog parks. I've marked all kinds of different locations. Here's a couple groups that I've developed for military members, or if you're going to be an Eglin. Here is some information about the Air Force Base. So here's some locations, where to find certain things. If you're going to be on base, you can poke around here as well. Here's a little flyer. I am a local realtor and I help people find homes when they PCS or have orders to Eglin Air Force Base. Here's some information on local schools and coastal living. There's some fun things to do and other safety information if you're interested in some demographics or information on the area. So here's some more info on buying a house, homes for rent, homes for sale, and a little bit more information. Here's a more in-depth Eglin base guide, and I'll share that in the comment, or not in the comments, but in the details of this video. And here's all kinds of information for those military members who are looking to do whatever they need to do. I tried to create a one-stop shop for you guys. And there we have it. These are all kinds of homes that I have sold. That was actually, I think 2022, some of 2022's homes that I was able to assist with in selling. And yeah, I'm always here if you ever decide it's time to sell or buy here in the Emerald Coast of Florida. I'm not a rental manager, but I can definitely hook you up with a good company that's able to get you in a home if you need a home to rent. Thanks so much for checking this out. I truly appreciate it. And I hope you found some value in this. If you ever have any questions about the area, I'm happy to help in any way that I can. And I really have some resources that should be able to get you right where you need to go so you feel comfortable in this area. And I bet this will be one of your favorite duty stations or places to work if you're a contractor and you're looking to move here. All right, Sonia Rankin, Realtor with Realty One Group, Emerald Coast. Thanks for watching my video.